Welcome to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. We are going to give you your mortgage news, your real estate news. You don't need to tune into all the talking heads and pundits on TV. We are in the trenches 7 days a week doing mortgages and selling real estate, and then we bring you some news every Saturday and Sunday on WDBO. This week, we're talking about how Florida sales are up, the rest of the country slightly down. The rise in prices is not double digit anymore, but we are getting good appreciation.
Absolutely.
Average appreciation. And Bruce and I, we're going to talk about Leapfrog. I don't know about you, Bruce, but I'm going to buy 3 more homes this year, and rental properties, investment properties, to make sure I have a legacy to pass on to my grandchildren.
Well, and that's what it's all about. We want to not only be able to cover our retirement too, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to offer something to our children and grandchildren? Just leave a legacy. And that's really what it's all about, leaving that legacy. So we're going to talk a little bit about Leapfrog. We will put a class together for June. So stay tuned. You can always go to webringyouhome.com. If you have questions for the voice of real estate here in Orlando, Cleve, Loveland, you can reach him anytime at 407-352-8118. Or Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger, at 407-250-9144. So we also have Hometown Heroes coming in. They're coming back.
I've got some people that want that. What's the status on that?
And it's coming back. The House wants to fund $50 million, and the Senate wants to fund $100 million. Last time we got $100 million, it only lasted for 45 days.
Wow.
That's it.
All right.
So there's a lot of pros. There's a few cons to Hometown Heroes, but mostly it is pros. So you can make up to $144,000.
Yep.
You can have a non-occupying co-borrower co-sign for you.
Okay.
That owns a home.
Yep.
Can't do that on any other down payment. You can be a first-time home buyer that has not owned a primary residence in the last 3 years.
Yep.
You could own rental properties. That's unheard of.
That's good.
And so there's a lot of things. The downside is you do have to repay the money. So if interest rates drop and you want to refinance, you're going to have to repay the money.
Does it pay off like as part of your payment at all, or after 10 years?
No, it's a forgivable second, and it never goes away. Some DPAs, down payment assistance, go away after 5 years, 10 years, 15. Not Florida bond.
All right. So I got some borrowers that want that. They need that help to get over the down payment and the closing cost hurdle. And so when they get their contract, they got to get with you and they're already fast tracked with you.
Yeah.
So they can't write a contract until the money's there, though, right?
No, you have to be under contract. So what you want to do is you want to get your application made
now.
Like right now.
Yep.
Go to webringyouhome.com or call my office. My team will take your application. But if you wait till the end of June, you're going to miss it. If you even wait till the end of May, you could very well miss it. So you want your loan to be fully approved, not pre-qualified, not even pre-approved, fully approved, everything. And then you go out, Cleve and his team will go help you find a house. Yep. You go under contract. We then reserve the funds with the state of Florida.
Yep.
Once the funds are reserved, you have 60 days to close. That's it. Yep. 60 days. So you'll want to do that. Go to webringyouhome.com and we'll get you all set up so that you can go get yourself some down payment assistance.
Well, I was talking about how sales are up here, and it's funny, our prices are rising. I had a discussion with a gentleman over the weekend saying he's waiting for the crash. I'm like, oh my God, you're getting how much money? I said, how long have you been waiting? He goes, 2 years. I said, well, you've lost. I said, what price range you in? He said, 400. I'm like, oh, I did the math. I said, well, you've lost about almost 40 grand.
Right.
Because prices have gone up that much. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, here's the math. Here it is. I've never met anybody that sits on the sidelines that makes a bunch of money. That sits at the state, no rich renters, as we always say.
There is no rich renters.
Article here out of Fox Business by Kirsten Altus, and talking about how Miami is starting to be the home for millionaires flocking to South Florida.
Well, I can understand that.
And when they do that, they buy a house there. They're not as picky as somebody who's stretching to make it to $1 million, and they're buying homes. And that is pushing money around the state of Florida. So I get people, probably about a 20%, 25% of my contracts, Bruce, are other Floridians outside of Central Florida coming here because we're affordable.
Well, you think if you lived on the beach in California, you'd pay what, $25 million for a beach house?
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. You could probably get one in Miami for $4 million, right?
Yeah.
On the ocean.
No, actually, I don't think so. It might be old, but it may be. I don't think. I think they're even higher than that.
They might be,
So,
but they're not as high as California.
Yep. I mean, I got a friend of mine. He bought on the Intercoastal for $4 million.
Yes.
You know, nice house, but so it's tough. I mean, just to
Well,
get a
he
little.
keeps his 100-foot yacht out there too.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's rough problems. 99. I got 99 problems, but that's not one of them. So, but it's just that money moving around the state is nice. You know, the median price in South Florida, I think, is in the fives.
Yes.
You know, we're still in the high threes here. So this money moving around, Florida's just still a great place to live, great tax structure. And I just think that's more of what we'll get this year. If the board of realtors will get their reports out, I could give you more information. I know March's sales beat 2024. I don't know April's numbers. That report should be out now. Still don't have it. Hopefully next week. I actually put the WDBO news department onto the board of realtors saying, hey, can you guys try and find out why they're not giving us numbers?
They're right down the street. Maybe I'll stop in
there, see if you can talk to them. I left a couple messages for the president and left a couple messages.
And he hasn't called you back yet?
No, don't know what's going on there. So anyway, maybe they'll perk up if we walk in person. So, or have a WDBO news truck pull up out front. Anyway, hope y'all are doing well. It's been a great weekend. If you need to reach me about a real estate plan, 407-352-8118. You ask me, what is that? Well, I said, are you staying put for 5 years? Are you selling a rental property? Do you need a rental property? Is it time to downsize? All these things I help people with, and it's different for every person, Bruce.
Absolutely.
And I just think that's something I've been talking with people about this for 25 years. It's always the ways I've done real estate. Say, what are your wishes and goals? What's the right time frame? A lot of people just want to get contracts signed. You know, I walked out of 2 appointments last week, Bruce. The people swore they were going to list. One's going to be a landlord. One's waiting another 6 months.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's so all these things we help people with. I want their net worth to grow. I want them to do the right thing. So one gentleman, he's on a 15-year note and he doesn't have to sell right now. So he's socking away. The principal on his mortgage is going down quickly. And there was new construction down the street, but they're almost done. They'll be done in about 2 or 3 months. So we're going to check it again in a month or two and see if the builder's done. So all these things come into play depending on what you're doing, whether you're renting or selling, buying, downsizing, upsizing. All these things come into play, and we like to help people plan that at Loveland Properties. You can go to cleveloveland.com if you need to talk to me.
Well, and I found, I don't know about you, but my weekend was packed. I had a lot of new transactions, had a lot of realtors calling me over the weekend. It was Mother's Day weekend. I tried to take a little time off on Sunday to celebrate Mama, but I did take a few phone calls over the weekend and put some transactions together. But I found that there's a lot of people that are just jumping in right now. And why is that? I mean, interest rates haven't gotten really any better. They're still probably, they're level. They're still in the mid to high sixes right now. We're south of 7. Where were we this time last year? Right now,
just above 7.
Just above
7.
So we're about a quarter of a point to 3/8 of a point lower in interest rate than a year ago.
Real quick, Bruce, I want you to comment on this. I got a report off Fox Business again. Actually, no, this was off Inman. And interest rates for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
And 1975, what were they?
1975,
9%.
9%.
Spiked up to 16% through the 80s, early 80s.
Reagan.
Rest of the 80s, they dropped to 10, 9s into the 90s. When I started in real estate, they were 9%. 1992, 8.2. Settled down into the 7s in the late 90s, and then 6s, 5s for about 10 years. And then coming into 2017, actually 2013, 2011 dropped low. In 2011, 2012, after the bubble, everything burst and trying to recover the economy, rates were in the 4s, even the 3s. And then we had COVID, of course, pushing up through 2020. And so it's just interesting. So the average rate,
the average rate, 7.5%,
probably around 7%.
Yeah.
So
it's higher than 7. It's like 7.49%.
Quit your whining and get out there and buy. Like we said, we don't know any rich renters.
There is no such thing as a rich renter. We will be having another investment and first-time home buyer class for Leapfrog. It's not really a first-time home buyer class. It's really for people that want to learn how to invest in their portfolio.
And to be clear, we don't charge a couple grand for this coaching and all of our knowledge. This is free. We will help you, tell you the mistakes we've made, how not to make mistakes, all the things we've done wrong, what's a good portfolio look like? How does this look? We spread the numbers out for you over 20 years, and you can accumulate 2, 3, 4, 5 homes, and you're rich.
Absolutely.
You got generational wealth to leave.
If you need help buying a home, You need help with your financing. Both Cleve and I are here to make sure that the experience goes very, very well for you. We are a wealth of knowledge. We don't know a lot about a lot of things, but we know a lot about real estate. And we are always here to make sure that you've got the best advice possible. So you can call the loan arranger and get your application started. I have literally every loan program you could ever even think of.
You do.
When it comes to residential. I don't do commercial when it comes to residential, but anything from first-time home buyer, VA. I specialize in VA veterans. I will guarantee you, I'll compare my rates with USAA, Veterans United, all them. You don't think that they truly are your best option, because they're not. The loan arranger is going to be your best option. Construction, renovation loans, first-time home buyer. How about foreign nationals, bank statement programs, physician programs, zero money down, 100% financing, no PMI, anything you want. The loan arranger's got it right here. Simple, easy process. Everything's done in-house. I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm lending you money directly from the pot. How about that?
All right. I want to ask you one thing, Bruce. I got a customer I was just talking to. He's got a VA mortgage.
Yes.
He moved out of that house after being in it for like 10 years.
Okay.
He can buy another house VA, can't he?
As long as he's got enough eligibility remaining, he can buy as many as he wants.
So that house has only got like a $200,000 mortgage on it. So that's a ratio. It's not that you can only have one VA home.
You can go up to 806,000 combined, and then anything over 806,000, you have to put about 25% down of the difference.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did not even know that. You taught me that about several years ago, but I just think having the right person, people need to call you. Did you give out your number?
Yep. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
All right. I just think people need to have the right person picking the right product for them.
Sure they do.
When they're ready.
And they need help.
And they do. And
they need help. You guys need the help. Believe me, you need our help, because we are your advocates, and I will promise you one thing. And I've known Cleve for a long time. We do not give advice to people so we make more money. We give advice so you make more money.
You know how many people called me last week that referred me?
How many?
I got four people sending me their friends and family. One was a landlord, 2 buyers, and a seller. And just, that's the greatest compliment. And actually
they trust us.
And this morning,
we will never compromise.
Yeah. And somebody sent me their grandkid this morning. I sold them a home when I first got in the business over 30 years ago. So it's like, it's funny because they weren't in my cell phone, but I knew the name. I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah. Voice from the past. So anyway, you need help. We're up against a break here soon. Call me at 407-352-8118 or go to cleveloveland.com. If you need to rent a house, buy a house, sell a house, you're trying to work on the timing, which is the important part. You want to maximize your return. You also want my free 50-point staging checklist. I stop a lot of people from spending too much money getting their home ready. And also I help a lot of buyers who think they need $50,000 to buy a home when really they only need 30 or they only need 20.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you see that a lot, Bruce. You got to understand your numbers. And what I see is people working with an inexperienced agent or not working with the right person who doesn't even know the numbers. And it's just a sister's cousin's best friend's brother. And that's not a good combination when you're making one of the biggest financial investments in your life.
So when we come back from the next break, I want to talk to you. And I know we talked briefly about this last weekend, but I'm seeing people signing these buyer broker agreements, but they're locking themselves in to an agent that they can't fire. And I want you to get, I was going
to bring a copy of a contract.
When we come back from the next break, maybe you can pull it up on the interweb when we go on for a quick break here. So we're going to take 5 minutes for a quick break. But when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about that, because Cleve talks about selecting the right real estate agent. The thing that I think people make one of the biggest mistakes on is they pick somebody that they know, but that person isn't great. And I have that problem right now where a client picks somebody that they know because they like them, but the person they're not really working hard for them. They're not negotiating correctly. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about finding the right real estate agent. What goes into a great real estate agent, and what do you get out of it? Cleve Loveland, the voice of real estate agent, the voice of real estate in Central Florida, if I can say it. 407-352-8118 or the loan arranger, Bruce Woodburn, at 407-250-9144. We'll be back in 5.